So I'm a bit hot because I've dug up a hydrangea. I'm normally quite good at hydrangeas. This one has baffled me, and I think it's because it's not had enough water at the front of the house, because it gets scorchio at the front of the house. So I've rescued it. It was stuck between a daphne and a phlox. It was being squeezed out. So I've put it in a bucket. I've drowned it, given it a good drink, and I'm going to put it into a pot and just give it a bit of love and see if it can turn the corner. So they are quite pretty and quite useful as a bit of a corner filler, the old hydrangea. They can get really big. Pink or blue flowers, you might recognise them from walking around, seeing them in front of people's houses. I don't know how they get them blue. I think it's a different type of soil. So anyway, let's do that. So I'm not going to put it in this bed here on the left, because again we've got the same problem. It gets a bit baked in the daytime, and which is fine for hydrangea, but I just don't have enough room really, and I don't think it'll have enough access to the water in the soil. I don't know what I mean, but I need to give it its own. It needs its own little room for recovery. It sounds like a wing, doesn't it? I'm just going to put that hose down there. Right, let's see if I can lift this. Oh no, I can't. Right, I just need to empty some of that out. Anyway, it's had a good drink. And we'll give it a new home with some nice compost. Oh my god, there's a massive snail in it. Oh, get lost. Is that why you're not growing? Ugh. Doesn't look very edible, does it? What do you do with snails? Oh, you just sort of chuck them into some dry grass away from your precious plants, don't you? Right, let's go and put it in something a bit decent. Okay, it's got a bit tangled up in the handle there. It's very woody at hydrangea. It needed cutting back actually, but I forgot all about it. So it's just got a bit really long woody sticks with just some bits of leaves on top. It's a bit sorry for itself really. It's a bit right, bit of compost, bit of love. Get the gloves on. Halfway up the garden we've got a purple shed. Well, it's more lilac really, lilac or lavender. And it's a new thing that my gorgeous husband managed to rescue from another place for me. Mended it, painted it. Well, I painted it frankly, but he built me the kind of work surface inside and stuff. So it's got bug spray. I know you're not meant to use that if you're going to be organic and that, but I do occasionally. Bit of plant booster, nets, gloves, tools. Oh, it's so lovely. I don't know how I managed before without it. I've lived here 6 years and I've only had it 6 months, so I don't really know what I was doing before, just sort of making do. So let's see if this fits in here. Got a feeling it won't. Oh, look at those roots, they're so dry. There's more root than there is plant, weirdly, and I think it's just been chasing water and trying to find, its place between the phlox and the daphne. Now, alright, I don't know what it's going to do in there, but I'm going to stuff it with compost around the sides. It's quite a small pot, but I don't have a bigger one. You've just got to do what you can. And we'll see what happens. So, let's get some of the old bagged compost. So I've put some at the bottom so its roots can go in beautifully, but it's got nothing around the sides, so we need to stuff it, pack it full of this lovely compost. I have grown my own compost. No, we have had a compost heap for about 6 years since we moved into the property, and it's just come into its own actually. We haven't really needed to harvest the compost until this year when we got really properly into growing stuff with a bit of time on our hands. And I'm not sure it's the best compost in the world, our homegrown stuff. it's tending to kill things at the moment. Just getting the bottom of this bag is nearly empty. So I'm going to look after this. I'm going to put it in the sun, keep watering it, keep talking to it. Come on, you can do it. Pull through. Step away from the light. And look, its leaves are really sad, aren't they? It's like had no water properly for weeks and weeks. It's been the sunniest May on record in the UK. I mean, I just have an hour in the sun and I'm just quite tired, really. So, poor old hydrangea. It's really... I put it in this so I can really monitor it. And then in about a year's time, if it perks up, I'll move it somewhere a bit more spacious. So at the moment, because it's quite a tight fit in the pot, I'm having to literally stuff like you would, I don't know, a chicken, with my fingers down the side of the pot to really make sure the compost hits those roots, because there's no, I mean, it looks like it's full, but if you touch it and press it, there's actually big holes underneath. So you almost have to like tamp it down, tamp the pot so the compost goes between the roots, otherwise it's just futile. And then of course water helps wash the soil further down and the nutrients. That's about all I'm going to be able to do for now. It might need packing in a bit more. Do you know what though? A lot of this is instinct, isn't it? I have no idea whether packing in compost around a hydrangea that's looking a bit sad for itself is going to do the trick. But that is the absolute beauty of gardening and mucking about with soil and pots, and oh my gosh, I lose myself and it's lovely. It's, what time is it? It's probably about 9:30 at night, isn't it? May, June time in the summer in England. And I used to think my mum was bonkers when she would be out at 10 o'clock at night watering and picking and deadheading and doing all the lovely things that I like doing now. And I know exactly why she did it, because it wasn't work for her, it wasn't toil, it was pleasure. You could just, oh, I see another hole there, another gap needs... Okay, come on hydrangea, you can do it. And it's the same for me now. It's just, you know, sometimes in the winter you look out in the garden and go, I'll never get out there again. I don't understand what all the fuss was about. And then you start your first few bits in the spring, and it's a bit of a chore really sometimes, a bit like, oh gosh, it's a bit cold. But then, you know, you just can't stop yourself. The bug takes over and you just, one job leads to another, and before you know it, you've completed loads of tasks, and I think that's the satisfying thing about it. And you've got something to show for your beautiful efforts, and I think that needs a bit of a snip. Let's just clear it up a bit. So if you come in the purple peril with me, it constantly needs to tidy up a shed, I think, in my short experience of owning a shed. I quite like tidying though, so I don't mind. Right, let's get some rose secateurs, or just secateurs, whatever they're called. They're quite new actually, my mum got them for me, and they're dead sharp. So I'm just going to take off what I think is kind of dead wood really, and this is quite satisfying. It's a bit of a haircut for the poor hydrangea, which should have had this level of attention on it a few months ago. And you can't go mad with a hydrangea, I don't think, but oh, this has just lost its mojo, poor little thing. There's lots of the dead wood. It hasn't been able to get any water, I don't think. But I don't know. You'll have to ask an expert about why things don't do things, and maybe it doesn't matter why things don't happen. Like life, isn't it? Sometimes it just doesn't matter why things have changed or not worked out. Oh gosh, that looks like it's got hope written all over it, that one. It just looks like it might just do what it's meant to do. Plump up a bit, look a bit nicer, deliver some flowers, maybe not this year, maybe next year. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's given me a bit of hope and a bit of satisfaction.